I loves me some 1 degree of Chunky B.
Now, I just have to make a comment about Chunky B. Have you ever seen him looking so good?
The panel then includes actress Lainey Kazan, comedian Chunky B, and Playboy TV host Julie Strain. Chunky?
What was the question? Ladies and gentlemen, what a day, what a day, what a day. It is a great day to be alive, and thank you. Come on in. It's the Garage of Love. Don't be shy. Walk on in and tell your friends we've got a couch just for you. 1 degree of Chunky B in the Garage of Love. Check it out at chunkyb.tv. Who makes it all possible? It just makes me have goosebumps each and every day I see him. The executive producer of Love. Give it up for Gary Adler.
Thank you, Chunky.
Gentlemen.
That's a nice warm welcome.
That is
And just
nice.
to remind the folks at home, you know, how this whole thing started. 1 degree of Chunky B. That's 5 degrees better than Kevin Bacon, Andy.
Well, that hurts.
That's
hurts.
true.
That's hot.
That is hot. Now, and the truth be told is, I've been hanging around Chunky a long time, and everywhere we go, somebody knows him. So that's why we named the show 1 degree of Chunky B. He knows everybody except
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
The quest for bacon still runs strong.
That's right.
He will be in this Garage of Love someday. I will mark my words, everybody. Tune in for a future show. But right now, let's talk about what we got going now. We've got one of the greatest technical directors on podcast history. It's the Manimal.
No, Andy, Travis isn't here.
Oh, that's right. I talked to Travis today. Oh, a little love to the whiz. A little love to the whiz. We'll explain that, what that means. Yeah, what's our new mating call? Andy.
Oh, I'll take that.
I watched it, our show last week, and it actually went better than I thought with that Andy thing.
Thank you.
I know, it's kind of awkward.
Just go on.
Hey, let's talk about if you're drinking a beverage and you're drinking a beer, you got to go with the Quack. You got to go with Venice Duck, ladies and gentlemen. What a great honor to have these guys. And I know you want to give it up, but I will never give it up.
No way, man. I'm not
Check it out,
never
check it out.
giving up the Asta.
Astaglow.
Yeah.
Now, people, I know the name is kind of freaky, but I want you to tune in. I want you to find this. This is really good stuff. Pre-sun, mid-sun, and
Yeah.
post-sun. You can never get enough of
It's
this.
the fountain of youth, Andy.
And you know something? Our
Yeah, in
guest.
a bottle.
And you guys, hey, tune in. You know you're going to chunkyb.tv, but we're on iTunes. We're on, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're on, where else are we going?
YouTubes.
We got a lot of YouTube action.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. And speaking of YouTube, I like to do no research for our guests, but our guest right now, who's sitting to my right, I could just see him looking at me right now. I cannot go on any longer.
Yeah.
Tony
Introduce
Denison, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tony
Actor.
Denison.
Tony
Actor,
Denison.
gorgeous hunk of a man,
Yeah.
and
Cooks a mean scrambled egg. I saw that interview.
did you do some research?
Yeah, I did a little research.
He doesn't. I thought we weren't going to do anything.
Hey, listen, I went as far as the
What about
scrambled
major
eggs, and that
crimes?
was it.
What about major crimes?
Listen. Go ahead.
Say hello to Tony. Did we say hello to Tony?
We did.
Tony, first of all, listen, it's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be your friend. Thank you. I want to brag to our people that I know you from a friend of a friend, and everyone was like, oh, you got to meet this guy, Tony. You got to meet this guy, Tony. I finally met him. And I texted you the day I met you, and I said, you are the real deal. And that is the truth. What you say and what you do are always rock solid. And I noticed that.
Almost always rock solid.
I noticed that by the friends and the way they respect you and the way they talk to you and the way you talk to them, you are the real deal. And it is an honor for you to be in the Garage of Love.
Well, thank
For
you
him
very
to
much.
be here, it's an honor.
It's an honor for him to be
for
here.
him.
Yeah, for him. It's an honor
yeah.
for him. I don't give a shit. That's not true. You know something? I want to get the basics for the people that are tuning in, so they are dialed in, and then we'll get a little deeper and we'll go off script. Okay, you start out with the great show Closers, right?
Closer. Huh?
Right, and then it kind of morphed into what you're doing now.
It
into-
evolved, actually. Morphing might not be the correct term. It evolved when Kira Sedgwick left the show after her 7 years. You know, you basically sign on for 7 years when you do a network show or even a cable show, scripted drama. And when she left, the executive producer, James Duff, there was a lot of uncertainty. Everybody thought, all right, well, I guess we're done then.
Are you freaking out or are you calm about this?
No, I mean, I'm...
7 years is a pretty good run to
Yeah,
begin with,
7
right?
years is a good run. And I'm not necessarily freaking out. It's sad, but I thought, okay, well, it's good to be back in the game because I had been out of the game for a while, and so I thought, okay, well, maybe now get some more, cuts at in the batter's box, and so what happened was the executive producer James Duff, who I've known a long time, even before the closer, he called me up and he says, "Listen, don't worry about it." He goes, "I've got more stories I want to tell." He goes, "I'm just not sure how we're going to work this out." He goes, "But we're going to do something," and I said, "Okay," and then the minute. See, in the closer, the squad that she was in charge of was called the Major Crimes Unit. So then James just turned the show into Major Crimes. And Mary McDonald, who was a reoccurring guest star on the show, she now became the female lead.
Nice.
And then everybody, we all got together. And now the show is officially really an ensemble show. And not only... did we continue to, play the music together, so to speak. We are now doing even better numbers than the closer did, and the closer was a giant hit.
And I can see why. And even though you and I have been friends for a little bit now, it's not like I'm going to jump on the Tony train and say, "Oh my God, let me start like figuring out what he's doing in front of the screen," because what he does behind the screen, I think, is the world to me. But so I did dive in. I did some research, and I can see why your fan base is so strong. Your show is kind of addicting.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that. Can I just ask a question? How do I put this? Eva Rochelle. Okay, your love interest.
Oh, Mary McDonald?
Mary, is that her name?
Yeah, Mary
Okay,
McDonald.
okay.
Yeah, she plays Sharon Rader.
Sharon Rader. Okay, she could kiss her.
We have, well, I mean...
Is that
He's
kind of
like,
weird
look
for-
at the time.
Look at the time, I know.
yeah, Jesus.
He's gonna play it safe, though.
That
Tony's gonna play it
train's already
safe.
coming here. No, I can't really give away anything because things haven't aired yet. But
Look at that. Sneak peek right
Chunky,
here.
you're trying to get a little too deep there.
Okay, but listen.
Hollywood.
You've arrived in Hollywood when you do the combo name. You have a combo name.
Oh, right, Shandy. Yeah,
How cool is that?
I know.
Yeah, like the on-screen combo name,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah,
Her character is Sharon. My
That's
character is
hilarious.
Andy. So the fans call us the Shandy.
Has it creeped into the script yet at all?
Oh, big time.
Oh, it has.
Oh yeah, big time. I
That's
mean, it
good.
was sort of everything, just sort of the confluence, I guess the right word, just all came together.
That's fun.
And
Now, what about before? Can we talk a little bit about before?
Yes,
you
of
know, the
course.
closer. Like for me, what's interesting and what I love about people who live in LA and that sit and that are on the show is that moment that they arrived in LA, how they got here a little bit, and then that first big break. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, break it down.
Well, I got into acting later in life. I was like 27 at the time that I got involved in acting, and I had been a newspaper editor, and the newspaper merged with another paper, and I found myself out of work. So my now ex-wife had suggested that I take a continuing education class at the college. So I was like, what am I going to study? I mean, I'd already graduated from college, but I looked through the brochure, and it was the only two things that interested me was photography or acting. And I thought, well, I'm on unemployment, so I don't want to buy a camera. So
This is a financial decision.
but also too,
You got into acting because you were broke.
yeah, I got right into it right from the beginning.
That's why most people get out of acting.
Right.
No, but I realized that I also didn't have it was nothing there saying, oh man, I'd love to take pictures. I was just never that kind of guy. And so, but I took the acting class, and I thought to myself,
Easy A.
well,
Was the teacher hot? That's what it was. the
no,
instructor.
he wasn't.
Oh, he was.
But the point was that I remember my mom as a kid always telling me, Anthony, you'd make a great you should go into acting because you're the greatest storyteller that ever lived, which is euphemism for
A liar.
I could bull
Full of it, yeah.
I could fling the bull with the best of them. And anyway, so I said, okay. So I took the class, and there were people in the class who worked at IBM. This is upstate New York. excuse me, worked at IBM and stuff like that, and they were involved in a community theater company called 90 Miles Off Broadway, which is about where New Paltz was, 90 miles from New York. And it was a very upscale, very well done professional off-Broadway, community theater. But people just wanted to brush up on their skills, and I was just sort of like, okay, what's this all about? And the teacher took a real liking to me, and he said to me, because you really got something. He goes, you might want to try, doing this. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever you say. And he said, look, he said, we have to do a presentation night for the continuing education program. And the conclusion of that night, besides music and dance and stuff like that, is going to be a scene from a play. There'll be, whatever, then an intermission, and then the scene from the play, and then that's the end of the evening. So I said, and he goes, would you like to do the play with me? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So it was a scene from Death of a Salesman. He was Biff, I played Happy. We rehearsed this, that's the opening scene when they were together for the first time, back at the house in Brooklyn, and I remember I was like, yeah, okay, no big deal. And we rehearsed this thing for 2 weeks, 10, 15 minute scene. Well, the night of the actual show, I was petrified. I thought, what the hell did I agree to? This is insanity.
How many seats in the theater? Do you remember?
Oh, it was full. It was like 300 seats.
Okay.
It's a big theater. New Paltz, the college I went to, was noted for their liberal arts program.
But this was the first time you performing in front of.
Oh, except in the first grade. I think.
Okay, great.
And you're 27 years old.
Yeah, so
you're
I'm
freaking out.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, would somebody call in a bomb scare or pull a fire or something? I got to get out. How do I get out of this? And so I remember they called us into places, and I sat down on the cot that was supposed to be my bed, and he was sitting on his cot. And I remember the curtain was only about 2 inches up from the floor. And then it felt very cool back there for some reason on stage. It was like this coolness that I didn't expect to have happen. And then the curtain went down. As the curtain went down, the house lights went out, the curtain went down. And then whoop, the curtain goes up, the house lights go on, stage lights go on. And there was somebody up in the lighting booth playing a flute, really erratically, making all kinds, which is supposed to be Willie Loman yelling and screaming in the kitchen. So my first line is I walk down stage left, my legs felt like tree trunks. And I walk down stage left and I stop and I'm listening to this. And then I turn back to him and I go, you hear that? He's doing it again. And then I took my first breath, which I hadn't taken, I think, for maybe even an hour and a half. I don't even remember breathing for an hour and a half. So I took a breath, and then as I was inhaling and breathing, and he has his line, suddenly before I speak my line, I could sense the audience was breathing with me. And they were just waiting for me to speak. And then as I spoke, they, and I had this connection.
Nice.
And right there in that moment, standing on the stage, I said, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I've done a lot of different things in my life. Like I said, a newspaper editor, I was a chess champion, backgammon champion. I had a construction company. That's how I paid my way through college.
Right.
Drove taxis, drove limousines.
But I gotta say, you must have been something deep down in the back of your head, growing up, etc. That
But he was 20.
there had to have been something that said, at
nothing.
some point in my life, I may want to do this.
No.
Really?
But he's mid upstate New York, Poughkeepsie. Where were you?
New Paltz, which is near Poughkeepsie.
Okay. And he's 27 years old, and,
Yeah.
he gets his bite then. Normally, a cat like him would be in every play in high school.
Yeah.
Would be doing community
Acting
theater.
classes.
Yeah, doing the whole
Not
thing.
even. When I say nothing, I mean nothing.
It wasn't even an inkling. It was just photography or acting because
I just
looked,
never thought about it. And then, doing the class was fun, but then actually having to perform, which I guess was part of the reason why I didn't want to ever do it, because it was like I was petrified. And then when I got up, when I got up there and I did it, and I thought, this is great. So then I spent the next couple of years, I got another job doing something to pay bills because the unemployment ran out. But this family, the Denison family, who I went to live with when my marriage ended, Jan Denison, she's still alive, and she's like a godmother to me. Her and her husband said, you know what, not because she ran a professional touring company, which I got involved with, and I was learning while I was learning and doing at the same time. And she said, you know what, She goes, you got to go to New York. You got to give it a shot. She goes, you're going to hate yourself if, like, 15, 20 years from now, you wake up one day and you go, why didn't I try?
Yeah, I'm doing community theater still.
Or not even doing that. Yeah, or doing
Right.
community theater. And so she goes, you have no, you're divorced. You have no children.
I thought she was about to say you have no future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you have no. You
You're
can
good for
Might as well
nothing.
be an actor.
Go to New York, damn it.
I mean, I was a life insurance salesman at that point, and I was selling, $1 million worth of premium a year, and I was only working 12 hours a week.
I can see you doing that.
I was a
Usually,
really
yeah.
very,
employee
very
of the
good
month right
salesman,
here.
very good
And
salesman.
I can't believe that didn't spark the creativity inside of you.
No, but in all fairness, though, I did every policy I sold. I didn't undersell anybody, and I didn't I would probably say that maybe at least 70% of the policies that I sold are probably still in force today.
Wow.
But wouldn't you also say that 70% of acting is being a salesman?
I think more than 70%. I've never heard it put that way
So,
in terms
look-
of the acting salesman. Yeah, but look, you know what you are? It's called show business, okay? So in a sense, you're the show, and you have to, if you look at yourself like a widget, you have to sell your widget. And what do? You have people who represent you, people who go out and try to get your widget out in the marketplace. And then your job is to stay on top of those people and then you keep the widget in good working order. So you exercise and, acting is it's the strangest one that for people to adhere to a discipline to, because if you were a musician, you'd stay home, play the piano or strum your guitar or whatever instrument you'd be playing. You'd be practicing that all day long because you can make sounds and you can do stuff and you don't need to have an agent call you up and say you got a job.
Or someone to read lines with you.
Right. Or if you're a dancer, you can practice your leaps and bounds and whatever the heck you do as a dancer. And even as a writer, you can sit and write. But as an actor, it's like, well, what do I do? Act in my living room?
I'm going to go outside and practice.
Well, you
But
could-
people
yeah.
don't realize that it's really important to, I used to belong to groups of actors who we would get together sometimes every other Sunday, and we would read plays aloud, and we would read characters that we would not ever be even considered in a million years being cast as.
But that
just
was-
to stretch yourself, and so you have to do your voice exercises and all these things, because if you just sit around waiting to be called, when they call you, you're going to be a little stiff. I mean, now you might things might be really tough. It's like Kirk Gibson when he went up and hit that home run. I mean, even though he hadn't played for a while, he was ready. I mean, he was ready because
I
he
was
was.
just about to go to a baseball reference.
Were you really?
Yeah. You know what I was thinking in my mind? When you call in the lefty in the last couple innings,
Yeah.
the lefty's throwing.
Yeah.
He's warmed up.
Right.
As an actor, you got to be warmed up.
Lefty, that would be this arm.
So when
you were saying Mario Rivera when you did right.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
one of your assets is your voice. I mean, that's the first thing I noticed. And did you have that
Me?
voice
Really?
at 27? Or did that?
Well,
kinda,
it's interesting that you say that because when I got my big break, on a TV series called Crime Story, Michael Mann. I mean, I had been doing nothing at that point. I mean, I didn't even have any film footage. And I got a job that was the most coveted job in Hollywood. There was 200 people who had read for this role. And I remember one time I was in a movie theater after the show had been on the air. It only ran 2 full seasons, but I remember after it was on the first season, I was in a movie theater and somebody said, "Tony Denison?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "I knew it was you." And I said, "You did?" And he goes, "I heard your voice."
Yeah.
And I recognized your voice. And I was like, "Really?" And I know that I have a regionalism. I mean, people,
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
people say East Coast. It used to be really bad where people would say, "Oh, what are you from, New York?" Now it's sort of, East Coast, which is fine. I mean, super decent people come from the East Coast. It's like, I remember there's one movie one time, and they were like, "Well, you're from New York," and I said, "Well, what does that mean?" Because the guy is supposed to be in Indiana.
Right.
I said, "So what? So it's only a line on a page. If he says to the girl, 'Where are you from?' and he says Indiana, he could just as easily say, 'I'm from New York.'"
Right. Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, I
That's
never
gotta
thought
be-
about that."
Oh, really? They went with it.
I mean, because at the end of the day, if if it was Robert De Niro, and he wanted to play, you name it, they would say, "Oh yeah, we'll make the guy from New York," even though
That's right.
All right. I got a million.
Yeah,
questions.
go for it, man. It's fascinating.
When that guy recognized you, do you remember your first autograph?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, I had a lot of interesting autograph experiences, but the most interesting autograph experience of all was when Crime Story was it actually had already gone off the air, or it was going off the air, but it hadn't. I had gone to Europe to do a miniseries in Yugoslavia with Christopher Reeve, God rest his soul, and Ian McShane and Judd Hirsch, and we had done this remake of The Great Escape, and so the Yugoslav crew got along. I got along with them great, and they were like, oh, Tony, and I said, I got a series, it's gangsters, it's going to probably come, and they go, okay, good. They didn't care. They liked me, anyway. Well, a year and a half later, Crime Story's off the air, but it's on in Europe, and when I get back to Yugoslavia now to do a pilot for a new TV series about the CIA, I'm on the plane in Zagreb, and I just flown there from Milan. From Milan, and I'm on the plane, and I'm wondering, why are we taking forever to take off? I mean, literally now it's like an hour and 25 minutes. And then I look out the window and I see one of those official cars, like you see in the movie with the flags, mounted in the front, and it's it's like this long, sort of Soviet-looking limousine kind of thing, and pulls up alongside and motorcycle guys and with the jack boots on, and guys holding Uzis, and this guy gets out with the black leather jacket draped over his shoulders, and he comes walking up the stairs. You can see him walk up the thing and he starts walking down the plane. And then I realized he's walking right to me. So I'm saying, I don't do drugs. I mean, I'm sober. I don't know what he's walking right to me, and he goes, Ray Luca. That was my character's name. He goes, oh my God, please, I must take. So then I found out that he found out I was on the plane. Somebody called him. He told, he was the Minister of Transportation. So he told them to hold the plane because he'd already gone home.
Wow.
So he said, hold the plane until I get back there so I could meet me.
Imagine that.
So
That is crazy.
Take all these pictures with this guy, and he's like, oh, okay. And then the plane takes off. So then we land in Belgrade before we go to Dubrovnik. And I'm coming down the escalator to get to another plane. And there's maybe 1,000 people walking in and out of the lobby of the main room of the airport. And all of a sudden, somebody notices me, and all 1,000 people look up at me. And they're like, I said to myself, this is what it must feel like to be a Beatle.
Wow.
And I walk down, and they're like, and I'm signing autographs. And then later on, when I get to Dubrovnik, it was like the show was a giant hit there because I was a gangster. I was a mafioso guy.
But keep in mind, this was your first major gig.
Yeah, it was my,
Just for the record, people,
Yeah.
I did some research. Okay, so I knew
You wrote down Ray Luca.
Yeah, I said number one. I said that your first. So I did some research here.
Good for you,
Now he's
Sean.
busting into these questions before I can answer.
I like
ask
it.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, so then, what happened was one day we were on the set in Dubrovnik, and they didn't do it again after that. There were like a group of girls, hanging out. One girl came like halfway across the country to come meet me at the hotel.
Wow.
Not to have sex with me or anything, just to meet me.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, she was a young kid. She was a young kid. She was a young kid. But anyway, so I'm on the set this one day, and there's all these girls. And then when they said cut, that was a wrap for the day. They said, oh, we're going to go back to the hotel. They said, okay, you can say hello now. They literally tried to rip my clothes off.
Oh,
You're
my God.
kidding.
By the way, this segment
I'm lying,
brought to you
I'm
by
dying.
Astaglow.
I'm lying, I'm dying. Then after that, they said, oh, we can't do that again.
Wow.
So it was.
What about your anonymity today? Like, if you go to Trader Joe's, how often do you get recognized these
A
days?
lot, all the time,
right?
every day.
Isn't
And
that
not even so
incredible?
much. Now a lot from Major Crimes, but I still get people come up to me from Crime Story or Wise Guy when I replaced Ken Wall for a while. Some people, interestingly enough, remember from me as I played Coach Mike George on ESPN's Playmakers. I get a lot of that because that was a great
remember
show.
that, yeah.
But Major Crimes, and it's always nice because people come up to me and they go, especially in California, they go, I don't ever say hello to anybody, but I had to say hello to you,
That's
and
nice.
I'm like,
You seem like an accessible person.
Well, check this out,
Yeah.
Tony. I don't mean to just cut you off, but
Yeah, you go ahead.
Tony and I had lunch last week.
Uh-huh.
All right. This man just oozes smoothness. It was the hottest waitress, right? She just had the beautiful face, bada boom, bada bing. And those two, you know, the girl didn't even see me.
Yeah.
She just looked right past me. Tony was to my left, and the girl was
guy
to
with
right.
the it power,
And
man.
then, you know, he does a little eye contact, and before you know it, she's talking about leaving her boyfriend, skipping her trip to yoga, go to India, and there's Tony right there, like, you know.
It's a slight exaggeration.
Yeah,
but,
right.
Dude,
thank you, though.
That's the way I saw it.
Just slow you.
And my next question is, how do I become a Flynn girl? What is up with that, Tony? Break that down. How did that start?
It just started. I mean, all of a sudden, my publicist called me up one day. She goes, you know, there's this movement afoot on Twitter and then on Facebook concurrently saying, you know, calling themselves Flynn girls. And I'm like, you're kidding. You know, I thought it was maybe like 10, 15 women. It's not a lot. It's lots and lots and lots of women. And the Shandy movement, there's thousands, I think.
Isn't that incredible?
Oh, dude, I got on the internet,
Yeah.
you know, a couple days ago, and it just keeps going and going about your fan base, and I know you well enough that you respect that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, because you know, there's one thing, and there's a word in Hollywood that I don't think is practiced enough, and it's integrity. and I know you do have it, and your parts that you play, especially the one you're playing now, your character will push the line, push the envelope, but never cross it.
Yeah, between the line between the ends justify the means. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Do you find it easy to do your day-to-day lifestyle into your character? I mean, because you basically are a good guy.
Look, I'd like, you know, my one of the attributes for Flynn, Lieutenant Detective Andy Flynn, which is the character I play on Major Crimes. You know, one of the components of him is loyalty. You know, he's a very loyal guy. And I like to think of myself as being loyal, but at the same time, you know, not everybody does all of this stuff perfectly, you know. And there are times, I'm sure, when I've fallen short. You know, I like to jokingly say there are times when I've made less than stellar choices on stuff that people might say, you know, the loyalty or integrity or whatever was lacking. But, you know, it's when I know that I strive for those qualities on a day-to-day basis. It's like, you know, like I tell people, it's like when you're up at bat, you can't hit a home run every time up. But, you know, if you just take a really good cut at the ball, you know, maybe you get that screaming, you know, double down the left field line. The guy on second may still score, you know, or the guy even at first might be able to score. Or your job might just be to move the guy over. But whatever your job is, you just try to do it with a certain amount of integrity.
But if you did hit a home run every time you went to the plate,
right.
you would be bored.
Talked about this with, if you hit a home run every time you went up to play baseball, you would lose interest in the sport.
That's why I stopped playing, Andy.
You know something? It's safe to say this, Tony, about you, and I feel good about saying this. You are a junkie for the written word.
Well,
you have
yeah.
so much knowledge and reference to.
Well, you know what's interesting? You know, my career had hit a dry patch. I mean, it was like being embalmed and put into a mummy outfit.
Really?
Yeah.
At what point?
Yeah.
Well, I got my break in '86 on Crime Story, and for the next 10 years, 11 years, I was just nonstop
Working.
I mean, working and accolades and all kinds of stuff, and I was trading in on the Crime Story character, you know. And then all of a sudden, in the end of '97, it just started to drop off, but I didn't realize it was dropping off. And then by the middle of '98, by around, let's say, even May or June of '98, I started noticing that I wasn't getting that many calls since '97. And then by the end of '98, I realized I only worked twice in the whole year. I thought, well, okay. And then the next year, it was just as bad.
Ooh.
And then in '99, it was like really. And then in 2000, there was a period of time where I didn't work for 18 months.
Wow.
You know, and it was like, and you know, it was all this stuff happening.
Did you pinpoint it? Did you find out why?
Well, what happened was I sort of lost track. I got to a place in my life where my happiness was contingent upon what I was getting, instead of what I was giving.
Oh.
And what happened in that turn was that I learned that I needed to be happy with who I am, And that, at the end of the day, like I said, I don't make stellar choices every moment of the day, but I strive for it. And things started to change in my life as a result of that. And during that period of time, it lasted 6 years. 4 years where it was really, dicey.
Relationships happening at that time?
My marriage was ending. My second marriage was ending, and
Did the finances kind of spur that all
oh,
on?
finance! I was up to debt. I mean, I jokingly tell people I was up to debt to my lips, and I was standing on my toes. If I went back on my heels, the water would be above my nose. I mean, I was really.
I would have drowned. He's much taller than me.
struggling. Yeah.
Hey, Tony, can I ask you a personal question?
But anyway, I just wanted to finish. The thing was that during that 4-year period of time, and then the subsequent next 2 years, where things started to like little by little, and then at the end of 6 years, it just started to really started to roll. But I taught myself carpentry, and I was reading like a crazy man. I just started reading books and philosophy books and self-help books and New Age books.
You were going to school.
I mean, somebody came to my house one day and saw all these books on this bookshelf behind my desk, and they said, "Did you read all those books?" And I looked at them and I went, "Yeah." As a matter of fact, I did.
Were you drinking
During that period? No.
Your slump?
No. I was sober. I got sober in '93, so this is '97. So what is that? 4 years into my sobriety.
That was challenging, right?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I never thought about drinking again or using drugs again as an alternative to what I was going through. I mean, I knew at that point that was not a solution. It was like putting a Band-Aid on a saber wound. And so I said, I'm not, I just didn't think to do that. And, and also too, I know me, there would have been a chance that I would have gotten like really angry. I mean, I was already angry and then frustrated and, you name it. But getting high again, because it was intense, rage that brought me to finally getting sober, So I didn't want to go there again, But, I don't, people who do, it becomes so complicated for them that they go back to drinking or using. I don't look at them like, oh, you're a weakling. I think, hey, everybody's got their own breaking point, and because you broke, it doesn't mean that you can't, I believe in redemption, and I believe that people can redeem themselves and come back again. And when they do, sometimes they're even stronger for it. Like if you look at what's his name? Sugar Ray Leonard, who I've met a few times. When he had his detached retina, and
right.
Then people said, he's going to box again after he got it fixed. Well, the doctor explained it. He said, the detached retina was because the retina was already weak. That's why it detached. Now, by putting it back on, we made it stronger. So yeah, he can go box. I mean, he has other things to worry about,
right.
Getting his brain scrambled or whatever, but the detached retina was not the problem. And so that's kind of like what it is. It's like whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, so to speak. So for people who go in and out of sobriety, eventually they get to a point where they go, okay. And if they don't, sadly they may die. Mm-hmm. But we can always use them, and I do. I always use them as examples. Like one of my favorite movies as a kid growing up, and I still have a tough time watching it because I always cry at the end, is a movie with Jimmy Cagney and Pat O'Brien. It's called Angels with Dirty Faces. And it's schmaltzy in some ways, but it's really cool because at the end, Pat O'Brien, who's a priest, and Jimmy Cagney, who's a gangster, he winds up getting killed in the electric chair, and so all these those dead end kids. Remember they had that series later on called The Dead End. Well, they're all there, and they go, "Is it true, Father? Did he die like the way because they said he died like a yellow rat?" And he goes, and because he asked them to die, he says, "Could you don't be a hero to these kids?" He goes, "Die." He says, "You want me to die like I'm yellow? Get out of here, Jerry." Because it's his friend, and he does. I get chills just thinking about it. And so they said, "Did he really die that way?" And all of Pat O'Brien says, "Let's say a prayer for a boy who couldn't climb a fence as fast as I could." Because in the beginning of the show, you see them, they're pulling little scores, and they go to run, and Pat O'Brien gets over the fence before Jimmy Cagney does. His character, he gets caught, and then he goes to reform school and becomes this hardened, criminal, where Pat O'Brien got over the fence and then becomes a priest.
Who's your favorite actor that is alive today that you would love to make a movie with? that you haven't worked with?
My favorite actor that is alive today who I'd love to do a movie with. Well, I guess it would have to be... I would like to do a movie with... that's a toughie. There's a lot of actors out there that I would... I guess Jimmy Caan. I'd like to do a movie with Jimmy Caan.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah,
I'd
I'd like to do a movie with Jimmy Caan. I met him a few times. I think that we would have a sort of, simpatico kind of energy together.
Are you a golfer?
Not really. I play at it, but I'm not. I'm the guy that everybody says if you took a couple of lessons, you'd be really, really good.
Chunky's the same guy.
Yeah, I'm the same guy. Yeah,
That's weird.
Because James Caan is. I asked that because he's a golfer.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, love scene. Chick. Actress. Movie. You're making a love scene.
Oh,
Hot,
they
sweaty.
all doesn't matter to me.
Good
Matter
answer.
to me.
Yeah, we'll get that girl. We'll get that girl
Doesn't matter to me.
from the restaurant.
Don't matter to me at all.
All right.
I mean,
you guys-
I would even do a kissing scene with Sophia Loren, for Christ's sakes.
God damn yeah.
I love her. I've loved her
do
since
that.
I was a kid.
Right on. Hey, you guys, we're going to take a quick break. You're going to watch your sponsors. You're not going to go anywhere. What you're going to do is you're going to get on the internet and you're going to email your friends going, oh my gosh, Tony Denison is on with Chunky
Can we
B
do a quick super tease before we take a break?
Yeah, I was good. Yeah.
Oh, you got a question?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I just want to make sure you get
Okay.
a question.
Yeah. That's what I was
Okay,
going to
good,
do. I was
good.
getting there. See,
Sorry,
what
man.
an executive producer.
Yeah.
You know something?
We're on the same page.
Yeah.
Great
I'll tell
minds.
you what. Tony's, we're pulling, no strings here. He's going to tell us all about, when we get back from the break, how he lost his virginity. Yes, he is. Tony Denison, everybody. Yes.
That's a good one.
That's a super tease right there, people.
like
Don't
it.
go anywhere. Hey, you guys, Chunky B. 1 degree of Chunky B in the garage of love. And you know if you want to get your quack on, you go to Venice Duck. And I'm not even kidding. This is a good beer. Tell your friends. Don't be afraid to get your quack on. Dude, this is actually really good beer.
It's fucking great beer.
You're so lucky.
Oh shit, I'm still recording.
Hey, you guys, music provided by Play Up Music. That's playupmusic.com.
Hi, I'm Tony Denison from TNT's Major Crimes, and you're tuned in to 1 Degree of Chunky B.
Black is the night that holds you down. Black is the night that holds you down.
You guys, once again, great day to be alive. You're in the garage of love. Tony Denison from, I want to let you guys know, I will admit that maybe I wasn't a crime watcher, a major crime watcher from the beginning, from the get-go, but I am now. But check this out. Let me talk. Okay, I know what you're looking at, Gary.
Yeah, because
I'm
this is
I'm
episode
excited.
82, Chunky.
I know.
You should know by now that when we come back from a break,
I
you
know.
plug the damn show.
Okay, check it out, everybody. I know you know what you're watching. It's 1 Degree of Chunky B in the garage of love, chunkyb.tv. And I should always take that seriously because it is your website and it's your podcast of love. And did you we'll talk about that.
Yeah. Can we talk about Amazon real quick and the donate button?
You talk about it. You're the money man.
All right, I'll talk about that. So listen, Andy, it's past Christmas, but Easter's right around the corner. So if you're going shopping and you're going to go to Amazon, which my wife often does, you go to our website, www.chunkyb.tv, you hit the Amazon button, you shop through our little portal, we get a little money, nothing, you don't have to pay a dime, and we get a little snack.
Yeah,
We get
yeah.
a little piece of it.
Tony, will you shop on our website, Amazon? Maybe someday in the future?
You have a website?
You have a website, Chucky?
My good friend Chucky D.
Okay, I will.
Awesome. All right, let's get to it, man.
Man, there's one thing that I didn't want to, before the whole Virginia thing comes back up.
Yeah.
There's a mark in television that I know. If you hit the 100th episode, that is like a major thing. Other actors respect. Well, oh shit.
Well, no, it's actually because your show can be syndicated.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Right.
It's also a benchmark, like, wow, you have 100 episodes.
That's a successful whatever.
That's a successful
Right.
show. We would be the first time in history that we would have the closer made 100 shows, and then this evolution into this new show called Major Crimes, which is still the closer, also making 100. So,
Like a spin-off, in other
so
words.
the show by its very existence is already history-making television, because that's not ever happened when 3 4 leads of a show leave. I mean, they wanted J.K. to stay, but they couldn't make a deal with him. But, when Kira left, and then it became this new show called Major Crimes, but it was still the same actors. Everything was the same. So that in itself was, because it wasn't a spinoff. So that in itself was an interesting, first time. And now we're poised to get to 100 episodes. We get to 100 episodes. It's like, that'll be the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah, major event.
That's awesome.
It's like DiMaggio's 56 game hitting streak.
That's not that good.
Really?
I'm joking. That's a joke, Junkie. Stop it.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Do you, after that slump that you went in, your acting slump, are you now ever going, shit, I got to go to work? Do you ever think that? Like, damn, I got to go to work?
I shouldn't say never. Never means there's hope. I don't ever call it work. I always say to people, some people, I say, I'm going to the set, or I'm, going to the lot, going to go to the show.
Why don't you call it work?
Because it's not. I just look at it as play.
You would do this. You would do it for free.
This is like going to play ball.
That's awesome.
It's like going to play ball. I don't think there's a guy sitting on the bench in the dugout anywhere in America who's playing ball saying, "Oh yeah, I got to go to work today." And it's like, I got to go to the show. I got to go to the game.
Right.
It's everything you dreamed
I
about.
got to go. Wouldn't it be great at baseball? Oh, I got to go to the park. I'm going to the park.
Yeah, I'm going to the park. I go.
Yeah.
So I usually say I'm going to the lot. Like the sand lot, baseball lot.
Right.
But I don't ever say I'm going to work.
Are you over at Paramount?
We're across the street from Paramount. We're at Raleigh Studios, which is
Right
right
across the street. Right on. And you're that's close to you, right? You're kind of in that neighborhood.
About 1 mile from where I live.
Hey, Chunk, if you don't mind me saying so, I just did a little sleuthing in my head because I'm the executive producer.
Yeah.
And he worked with Kira Sedgwick, who was married to
Kevin Bacon.
Right.
Okay, let's talk. Can we talk openly?
Dude, and listen, you see what I'm
Are
saying?
you in a
See
relationship?
what I just
What's your
did?
relationship with her?
My relationship with her is fine. I haven't seen her in a long time because, when she left, she left. I've run into her a couple of times at different events.
Is there any
but I
way in
haven't seen
hell
them
we
in
could
a
get
long
Kevin
time.
Bacon in that chair?
Well, our quest still for Bacon continues.
Yeah.
If anybody knows a way to get to Kevin Bacon, and I've got great Bacon stories. I know stuff about Kevin Bacon that he doesn't even know that I know. Well,
Or about himself.
About him, yeah.
Yeah.
I know enough about Bacon to really impress him.
Well, if I ever see him at an event,
You'll never mention the show.
I'll pass it along.
Okay, it's Chunky B.
You want
Smart aleck.
Yeah, we'll give
Smart
him the business card.
I'll pass it along, seriously.
I love the fact that you don't call it work. I love the fact that you do it for free. But
let's not get crazy.
Yeah, right.
Wait a second. What's that saying you have? What's that saying?
Well, the saying is Charlie Durning introduced me to it, but people don't know if Charlie was the one who said it or it was Walter Matthau or which is I don't get paid to act. I just get paid to wait around. The acting I do for free. The waiting around. Is
there you go.
what you pay me.
There's a lot of waiting around. Am I right?
Oh yeah, of course there. Yeah.
Oh, lots of waiting around.
But that wasn't the saying.
Setup time. That's all.
Yeah, I was thinking of something else. Like, well, if you do it for 50, then you'll do it for 25. Did you say that? Then
No, that was Judah.
Oh, that's
That's my friend Judah.
all right. How's he doing? He's all right.
Yeah, he's doing good.
All right. You're a single man.
Yes, I am.
Is it just like tag and release? So like shooting fish in a barrel? What's it like? Come on, Tony. Be open with us, dude.
No, actually,
You're
I'm not.
single,
I'm
good
not,
looking, and you're loaded. I bet you got a bunch of cash.
I have some money, but not as much as you think. But I don't know. I broke up with my girlfriend about a year or so ago, and sometimes I think, well, now what? Now what do I do? And
Are you dating?
I'm dating, but I'm just trying to spend as much time as possible being reflective about me, because as I describe to people, I've learned to be really good with the me. I just have problems sometimes with the we. So, that's what I'm working on all the time.
You get cast in films a lot?
Yeah, not a lot, but I get some films. Yeah,
You ever been nominated for an Oscar or anything like that?
I would love to. Not yet.
You know why you aren't?
Why?
You're not black.
Oh,
I guarantee you,
Chunk.
Tony, if you were black,
Can you believe it?
But do the remake of The Jazz Singer. Only I can't sing.
I wish
so.
you would have delivered that joke as we rehearsed it.
yeah, I think it went okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
All right.
No, it didn't really.
What's up with Shakespeare? You're a Shakespeare guy, right?
Love Shakespeare.
How does a guy from upstate New York?
Harlem.
I know the
Harlem,
but
New York.
yeah, what's that?
That's where I'm from Harlem originally.
That explains it. That's why you got this little soft-spoken badassness about you. It's in your DNA, so it's the way you're people.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any stints on, like Sopranos or anything like that?
No, I actually didn't ever get a chance to be on The Sopranos. People would always say to me, "How come you're not on The Sopranos?"
Right.
Like,
Or they probably said, "Oh, I saw you on The Sopranos."
no.
Like, no, it wasn't me.
No, look at it this way. I don't know if it's because of the impression I made with the Crime Story, but I know one day at the Screen Actors Guild Awards, our show was nominated for Best Ensemble. This is when it was the closer. And The Sopranos were nominated for Ensemble. And all the Soprano guys, with the exception of James Gandolfini, who wasn't there, who I met later on, they all came over to me there on the red carpet, walking the press line. And they surrounded me like I was like some kind of superstar. And they were just telling me how much they dug me. And I was like, I said, I love what you guys do too. And they was like, oh yeah, man, Ray Luca was the, and it was very complimentary.
cool.
It was very complimentary.
You know how difficult it is to get that love? How much work and experience and time and luck.
Yeah.
Just being in the right place at the right time. Did you ever
Well,
think you were the luckiest fucking guy?
You can make your own luck. I mean, you can, if you try to go out there each and every, like I said before, about practicing your craft. You keep practicing your craft because when the opportunity arrives, you want to be able to show up, and like get a good cut at the ball. Now, sometimes you can hit the ball as hard as you want, and maybe the wind. There's a gust of wind, and it brings it back into the warning track. It gets caught, and it's that. Other times you hit it, and it just gets up over the gate, over the fence. Or you get a single or a double or whatever.
Right.
Whether that has something to do with luck or not, I don't know. But I know that it's something that you strive for. And you make opportunity. What is it? Luck is like opportunity and preparation meeting at the same time.
I wonder if you're someone like Chunky and the coach just never put you in. You know what I mean?
Okay, that was a small phase of my life. You don't need to bring that up. Soccer in college. I set the bench.
You set the bench the whole time?
No. I
Must
set the
have gone
bench.
in once or twice.
He never got the.
Well, I remember one time I was when I was newspaper editor upstate New York. I decided to do some community outreach stuff for this paper. So I became a Little League coach. So this one guy, a reporter who worked for me, he says, Tony, why don't you come and be a coach? He says, I'm managing this team. He goes, but you can be the coach, And I said, okay, fine. Why not? So I came, and then there was one time where he couldn't be there. So I said, all right, so I'll be the manager of the team that day. And there was this really adorable kid, Billy, Bobby, all those, whatever those names are. Anyway, so he comes over to me and he goes, Tony, is it okay if I don't play second base? He goes, I really don't, the ball comes at me too quick. He goes, I'm much happier in the outfield. And I go, yeah, sure, go play the outfield. I don't want the kid to play at second base. Afraid. So the game starts and he goes out to right field and the game, and then when they come back in, I get a tap on the shoulder. And I turned to some woman, it's kind of hot, and I said, "Can I help you?" And she said, "Bobby or whatever, that's my son." And I said, "Okay." Then immediately I looked to see if she had a wedding ring on, if she was divorced, or what. I didn't know what this was all about. And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "What is your name?" She tells me her name, and I said, "What can I help you with?" She goes, "What is he doing playing in right field?" And I said, "Oh," I said, "Well, he was going to play second base, but he said he's a little tense, being that close to the ball. He'd rather play the outfield." She goes, "No, he must play second base." And I go, "Well, I mean, look, the kid's happier out there." And I said, "If he's ever going to make it to the majors, outfielders are a dime a dozen. Infielders are really, And I looked at her and I said, "You're kidding me, right?" I said, "This is like a joke." She goes, "It's not a joke. I'm really serious. How dare you not put him in the outfield?" I said, "Do me a favor. Can I curse?"
Of course you can.
So I'm talking to the woman. I said, "Look, go sit down in the fucking bleachers and leave me alone." What are you, nuts? And so then the next day I get a phone call from the commissioner of the Little League. Listen, Tony. I think you're not grasping what this is all
Yeah,
about.
this is not gonna
You
work
can't tell
out.
a mother to go fuck us or go sit down to fucking bleach. That's just out of her mind. The poor kid. I mean, the kid's gonna grow up like be a psychopathic killer or something. You know, being forced to do something he doesn't want to do. Well, I said, you know what? Then fine. I tender my resignation. He goes, well, I was going to tell you to leave the league anyway. He goes, but okay, fine.
Right.
We accept your resignation.
You do have the teaching gene. There is something about you that you like to
love
share experiences, share your wisdom. Is that a direction you think about going? In would you open your own?
I'm thinking about doing it now. I mean, I don't know if like my acting coach. Her name was Julie Bavasso. She's now passed on. She played John Travolta's mom in Saturday Night Fever.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
And she's wonderful. Was wonderful. And she always said about teaching that she didn't know she was going to ever be able to do it because she says She never wrote a book about her techniques and stuff because she said once you put it on paper, it changes trying to make it sound the way it comes out of my heart, her heart. And so I don't know if I can speak with specificity to a particular scene for an individual as to what might be coming out of their heart or help them guide them along that way. Because what comes out of mine as I try to marry, my intellect and the visceral self together in a scene, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. So if I can't do that, then I don't want to waste anybody's time or money teaching.
Well, how are you going to know if you can do it?
Well, I mean,
You gotta give it a go.
I have friends and good acquaintances who call me up from time to time. They want me to. They come over my house and you go over a scene with them.
Yeah.
And they all tell me that they really enjoyed the session that we had together.
Yeah. All right.
What's the largest number of takes it took you to get one scene done? Because I imagine with
Not
that
by my
ensemble
fault.
cast, you guys laugh quite a bit.
Yeah, not by my fault.
Really? Are you that professional? I call Bologna.
No. What I mean is, sometimes there's technical issues. I wasn't even on Major Crimes. There was one time on Crime Story, because Crime Story was set in the 60s, and it was, highly stylized. And they had this one shot that they were trying to do. It was like a tracking shot. And, oh my God, we must have done this shot 40 times because they just...
That's a half a day
That
trying to shoot one shot.
For a television series, it's a lot.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Are you getting mad at the
but
crew
if you
at
look
this
at
time?
Crime Story, you think, my God, what a magnificent... People look at that show today.
Yeah.
It's off the air now 27 years. People look at it today and can't believe that it's not a feature film when you look at the pilot. People think, this was on television? And I go, yeah. And they go, can't be. That's how it was ahead of its time then, and it's still ahead of its time now.
Do you watch your shows?
Yeah, like after a while, after I've been away for a while. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to watch them like right away.
Right.
For a couple of reasons. One, because I keep thinking about different things I was going to do that day in the scene. And the other thing is I'm not the editor, so I'm stuck with a take that they like that I might not be crazy about.
Do you like seeing yourself in a hospital bed with black eyes and a cast around you?
I don't.
Is that fun?
I don't think about it. If it gathers sympathy for me, it makes people like me more.
Yeah.
I'm as dysfunctional as the next guy.
One of the first times I met Tony, he was here at the house, hanging out with some friends, and he went to the restroom and he came back and asked me if I was gay.
I asked you if you were gay. Why?
Yeah, because I had a Christmas tree soap dispenser.
Yeah.
And he thought that was kind of like on a gay side. We don't judge.
You mean happy gay?
Happy gay, yeah. I didn't mean it in a negative sense.
In that sense, he is gay. Yes.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in the future? What's going on in the future for you? You're just going to ride this show out as long as possible?
I'm going to ride the show out until its end. And then I'm also starting to make forays into producing. I have no desire to direct. I mean, at least I haven't had any desire to this point. I don't know if that'll ever change. But I would like to produce. I have a couple of things that I'm involved in that hopefully, get them over and get them on the air or get them in the movie theater or something. And that would be wonderful. Because I like being in the creative process. So as an actor, I like being in the creative process of, figuring out a scene. And then I like the creative process as a producer to get all these people together to try to create each scene.
And how often do you get to sort of go, do you mind if I try it a different way? Or
All the time.
All the time?
They're very flexible. I mean, every show I've ever been on, they're pretty flexible.
Yeah.
I mean, you say, listen, I have an idea. Can we try this? And if it's not too complicated, because sometimes it's a scene with a lot of different actors in it, they'll say, yeah, what would you have in mind? And you try it, and they go, nah, I don't think that works. And I'm like, okay, fine. Right. I don't ever like say, no, we got to do it this way.
Did you ever work with anyone who was just the biggest pain in the ass?
Like a prima donna?
Well, yeah, of course. I've worked with people. No, I won't say.
No, he's not gonna say that. What do they rhyme with?
Yeah. How do you spell them?
No, I mean, no. I've worked with some people. Let's look at it this way. Rather than say that they were prima donnas, they're unhappy.
Oh, just generally and made everyone else miserable.
Yeah, they're unhappy. Cause
Right.
not, and it's like, you want to say, I said to one person one time, indirectly, I said, it's not this that you're upset about. I said, something happened to you a couple of days ago that you haven't gotten over yet.
That's interesting.
And you're bringing all that shit to the set.
Yeah.
But for the most part, if I'm a guest on some other show or I'm, on some film and I'm not, in the top 3 in the call sheet, I just sort of try to keep to myself. Hey, good morning. Hey, hope you had a good day, whatever. And in some cases, I don't even encourage conversation. I just, hey, hello. I don't say hello, how are you? Because I don't feel like hearing a litany of like why the world sucks.
But do you think you're misread on that?
No, because I can be charming without being, I can, what's the word, verbose? No. Verbose means not being able to say what you really want to say. No, I can be.
Right the second you're being verbose.
Yeah, being verbose. I mean, I can make people feel like I'm genuinely glad to see them, without having to get into a lengthy conversation with them. And it does, I mean, who am I to judge? Because there are days I've come to the set and I'm sure people, I know people have said to me, Tony, you all right? And I go, why? What's the matter? And they say, you seem, and I go, oh, well, something is, But I don't ever take it out on the crew or my castmates, my teammates. So not. That's as far away from my mind as Pluto is to Earth.
You ever either pass on a role due to scheduling conflicts or
Yeah, I
not
have.
get a role and later go, oh my God, if only? And what were those?
Well, the one role I would like to have gotten was 2 roles I would like to have gotten, and both times I lost out to the same guy. Isn't that interesting? It was in the movie Black Rain, Michael Douglas, directed by Ridley Scott, and they gave the role to Andy Garcia.
Oh yeah.
And
He's a jerk.
And that guy.
no, he's a nice guy, Andy. I met him a couple
I'll
of
punch
times.
him right in the eye next time I see him.
Anyway, so he got the role
Both
over me,
eyes. Yeah,
and
something sticking out of his head.
I really wanted to play that role. And then the next time, there was when they were doing Godfather 3, I got a call from my agent, and he said, "Hey, one of the producers, Fred Ruse or somebody, was like really interested in you to play Sonny Corleone's son." And I said, "Sonny Corleone's son?" I said, "Which?" They said, "Oh, you remember Lucy? They had an affair." And I said, "Oh." They said, "So he's like, they really want you to play the role." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
How cool is that?
So I said, "Well, what do we do?" He goes, "Well, we're going to get you on a red eye Friday night into New York." Coppola was staying someplace in New York, and he was going to meet some candidates. And so I was like, "Okay, cool." This is like a Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then Friday comes along, and there's still no. When am I going? I'm just going to take the red eye, right? And, no. And then finally by Friday afternoon, I said, what the hell is going on? And then what had happened was they had offered the role to Garcia, or Garcia had already been in New York. So he went in and he read, and, he had a couple of movie deals with Paramount, and they took off one of the movie deals, and, that's
That
what
was the end of that.
I told you he was a jerk. I told you that guy.
Can you
No, but I
imagine?
mean, it's like, and I learned a really important lesson after watching that, because after that one, I was like, really like, damn it,
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't want to like him.
Were you secretly happy that Godfather 3 was not that
A
good?
shitty movie.
Well, no, the thing is, I felt
Did you give it the
bad for-
whammy, Tony?
No, I did not. But the thing was, I was sitting there, and that's when I learned a really important lesson. No matter how unhappy I made myself, he wasn't going to suddenly dematerialize from the screen and me materialize on the screen.
That's right. It was what it was.
And so then I said, okay. So I sat back and I watched his performance, and I enjoyed it. He's a good actor, Andy Garcia. And so he got the role I didn't. That happens, a lot in this town. So for me to single it out, like as if it's like, oh, I mean, what is that? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
paranoid.
He's still a dick. And guess what? He's a golfer too.
He's a golfer, and he smokes Havana cigars,
Yeah.
and he's a nice guy.
A nice guy.
You
I
wanna
don't
hear something?
hang with him, but like I said,
You know why
after
you don't?
watching-
Because he's a dick.
All right.
All right, all right.
He's not
I'll
a
tell you
dick.
what.
Do
You know
you
what's so
really
crazy?
think he's a dick, or are you just messing around? Do you know him?
Well, I'll tell you what. Funny story. How about me, James Caan, and Andy Garcia golfing
Really?
Never
with
happened.
Ray Romano?
Never happened.
I'm not making it up.
Come on.
Kid you not?
Really?
Yep. They all go to. I'll tell you what. I'll even freak you out. All their kids go to Campbell Hall out by Studio City, and they were having a fundraiser, and I was at the fundraiser doing a little bit, but I got to golf for free.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he
yeah.
was. And he what?
But
made
you played the pitch and putt?
He
or
made
did
you
go-
carry
Oh
his
no,
club?
Tony, nice try.
But anyone could get mad at you playing golf with you, Chunk. I mean, not just Andy Garcia.
I want to let you know the guy couldn't be nicer.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
he was
here
so
we
nice.
go.
Yeah, because I was going to say.
He was a nice guy, and
he's a pretty nice
and he's a
guy.
great musician. And you know something? And my kid goes to that rich school up at Pally.
Yeah.
You know, public school. But he got invited to a party, and he said, "Dad, I met this guy, actor Andy Garcia." I'm like, "You did?" He was like, "Yeah, it was really nice." Introduced himself, came up, shook my hand.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's a good guy. I was just trying to be a tough guy.
He's always been nice to me, and and like I said, it was really an interesting time in my life, learning, let it go, man.
Yeah.
Let it go. Just sit back and enjoy it for whatever it's worth. And the movie had problems, and it certainly wasn't him. It wasn't his fault. It just had some problems.
You ever done stand-up comedy? Because you got like the kind
I've
of
been
like the
asked
movement.
to do stand-up comedy. I don't know if I can think of some of the routines, but I have these. I read the Bible one time,
That's a good one.
and
How did it end?
when I first got sober, I started reading the Bible because I used to argue with people about it, and I never read it.
Right.
And so then I read it, and and I found some interesting bits in in it that I would do. Was like sometimes at a party, I would just do these lines from it, and people would laugh and they'd say, "You should do it as a stand-up," and I go, "Yeah." So that I get in my car and some evangelical plants a bomb in there, so I get I die. Or some Opus Dei guy.
Well, let's talk personal, okay? I know you broke up with your woman a year ago. I'm not asking you how often you get it, but go back to that first time.
Oh, wait, hold on. You're
What?
single. He's a single guy. I would love to know if he's ever doing the Tinder thing or the Ashley Madison or any of that stuff.
I haven't done any
That's
of
a good
the
question.
dating sites.
But you watch porno.
No. I don't know. I to be honest with you, I don't watch porno.
I'm kidding.
I don't go to strip clubs. I don't watch porno because I never understood it. I can't touch the person.
Strip clubs
So-
are nasty.
So why do I want to sit? I went to like 2 or 3 strip clubs my whole life, and I thought, well, this is insane. This is beautiful woman on the stage, balls ass naked, and I can't grab her leg. I mean,
Oh no, you
without
get your
getting-
ass beat.
Yeah. So I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense. And then when you look at porno movies, I'm going to watch some other guy doing some other girl. It's like, well, I don't get it.
Yeah. Can I tell you a true story? And I'm not even making this
Let's
up.
hear it.
A couple years ago, I was cruising down Pico. And some of my friends that do that on a semi-regular basis, one, it's so much stupid money
What are you talking about?
going to a strip club.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
It's stupid money, right?
think I've been in
So
20
my
years.
buddy who's got a little bit of walking around money goes, Chunky, you need to get yourself an individual lap dance in the VIP room. I'm like, dude, no, that's not my thing. It's like, oh, come on, do it. And I said, okay. Go there, and this beautiful Russian blonde, right? She pops open this $100 bottle of champagne. It's got no fizz.
Okay.
And she pours me this thing, and then she starts dancing, and then she's giving me a lap dance, and I look around, and I caught the light crying.
She's crying?
She's crying because she's giving a fat, chubby guy a lap dance and hates her
and
life.
trying to put her kids through college?
Yeah. Or probably thinking about how her dad touched her in the bikini area. And so, yeah, it's always been a joke. Oh, gosh, yeah, stripper was crying. I don't know why I'm ventilating. But yeah,
that's
it's beautifully.
embarrassing.
And you know what I said? I go, honey, I've got 2 more songs I paid for. Why don't you just sit down and we'll talk? She goes, really?
I'll give you a lap dance.
And there I had my thong on. The music was pumping. Stage 1, Chunky Bear.
No, but I like reading. I'd rather read an erotic novel or an erotic, X-rated story, and just use my imagination take care of it for me than actually watching other people do it. I don't get it. I'm not a voyeur in that respect.
But is there a certain kind of book, or will you go down and dirty with
Dear
Charles-
Hustler.
How about
Dear
a Charles
Penthouse
Bukowski?
Forum.
I'm talking serious over here. What about a Charles Bukowski?
I started reading some of his stuff, and it's all right.
Was it a turn-off?
My favorite used to be Henry Miller. Tropic of Cancer was like, and then what's his name, Selby, who wrote Last Exit to Brooklyn. There's that scene where the guys are examining the girl's private parts with the flashlight. That whole. I remember when I read that when I was a kid, it was like, oh my God, and it was so erotic, beyond, and you don't see anything, you're just imagining it in your head.
What about you writing a book?
That mutual friend of ours, Judah, has been after me forever to write a book because he says I have a lot of interesting things that I say, and so
You're phenomenal, like your mom said, storyteller. And I'm not saying you're saying BS, but you do have a delivery, and you do, and you seem to be extremely educated.
Well, maybe I should get a ghostwriter.
No, think about it.
I go with Casper on that one, right?
Just dictate stuff to somebody.
Really, is that your ghost?
That's my only ghost reference.
Hey, before we put a bow on this, Tony, do you want to give us some details about the losing your virginity?
I lost my virginity when I was 14 years old.
Ooh, on the young
All right, break it down for us.
Yeah, now you got us going. Go
I
ahead.
had a girlfriend, and we were, we were toying around, playing around, and then
She your age?
She was a year younger than me.
Was she a virgin as well?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
And so we were up in my bedroom, and we were, I didn't even know that you're supposed to move at first, so I was just there on top of her. And then when I started moving, I was like, oh, it was like love at first sight.
Now, when you were doing that, do you like to do it regular or in the vagina?
Like,
That's all right. We stump everyone with that one.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I don't
how
wanna
long
take
did that last? More or less than under 4 seconds, Chunk?
I would say, Tony.
the first time was real quick, but then all the times after, I took my time. I
There you go.
started to enjoy it. I think I'm pretty.
14's pretty young.
Well, hold on. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He says he's pretty good in that department.
Yeah, that's
Pretty good
cool.
in that department.
Yeah. That's a thing. And he's single, good looking,
You know
loaded
why
on
I'm
television.
good? You know why I think I'm good is because I enjoy it so much. I enjoy it personally.
There you go. I enjoy vagina as well.
But do you enjoy
Andy?
it when there's someone else there?
I'm all for the vagina.
Yeah, I love the vagina.
Not into threesomes with other guy. Maybe with another girl, but not with another guy. I don't get that at all.
Oh no, I wasn't even going there.
I went there once in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would be afraid that our
It was a
penis-
drunken, weird situation.
I would be
and-
afraid that we accidentally bump pee-pees.
Yeah,
And that's on your resume for the rest of your life.
could happen.
Because I know for a fact that this guy has not bumped into another pee-pee.
Yeah, the night's young.
Tony, are you busy? Oh my God. How much time we have here?
We're good.
Hey, Tony,
Yes,
my
sir.
good friend Tony Densmore.
Yeah, don't check your watch. It makes us look bad.
No. I
He's reading. It's
No,
not-
I know.
Yeah.
It still looks like he's checking his watch.
I know. And you know something? I noticed that about him a couple weeks ago. Then we were at lunch, and I'm finally like, Tony, what's up with the thing?
He's at a high
I'm
watch.
so hopelessly addicted to this whole technology.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's not cool anymore. It's sad.
Are you a cord cutter? Do you have cable, DirecTV?
I have DirecTV.
You do. Okay, so you're officially still watching
But you know what?
television.
I'll tell you how bad it is. That I've decided I'm going to get a stick shift car, my next car, so I won't text and
Oh,
drive.
good for you. Yeah, you shouldn't do that.
Rather than just not text and drive, like
Yeah.
just have that kind
Right.
of control. I don't have that control, so I'm better off having a stick shift. So I just won't do it.
I like it.
Wow. Hey, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
On so many different levels, and we're going to invite you back because there's stuff that I still haven't tapped into.
Yeah, we're just peeling back the first couple layers, I think.
Yeah. I want to say thank you for being so generous, and thank you for your wisdom beyond this podcast. And how do your fans? I know your fans can reach you, but you have a Twitter. Do you know?
Yeah,
your-
real Tony Denison. At real Tony Denison.
What's the real part about? Is there a fake guy out
My
there?
friend Joel, my friend and business partner, did that. He set me up because I didn't know about Twitter, and he set me up, as the real Tony Denison. But I have the blue check next to my name, so
That's the real one.
Yeah, I read today that a woman says her life sucks when your show goes on hiatus.
really,
Yes.
we got some.
I feel that way about The Bachelor.
Lord have mercy.
We
got
have some
fans?
loyal fans.
Yeah, that's fun though.
I mean, yeah, we have loyal and a lot of them.
And now you got 8 more.
Oh, good.
Our watchers. So check him out on Twitter, The Real Tony.
Yeah, this was an absolute pleasure, Chunk. Great guest. Thank you.
Something.
Yeah.
I feel every time I have a hang time with Tony, I feel like a little smarter. Before we say goodbye, at night, who do you pray for, or what do you pray for?
What do I pray for? World peace? No, I pray for everybody but me.
See what I'm talking about?
Stellar citizen.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're in the Garage of Love. I am 1 degree. No, shoot, I am Chunky B. You just tuned into 1 degree of Chunky B. Please spread the good word of the Garage of Love. We just have a good time, just laying it out there, having a good time, and just I couldn't be more grateful. Tony Denison, you are a man among men, and this world would be a better place if there's more people like you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you, Gary Adler. You're
You're
a
welcome,
good man.
Chunky.
Andy.
Thank you. Andy.
Nice. Good man. Once again.
Travis,
Chunky B.
shout out.
Travis,
in
boom,
the
boom,
desert,
boom.
baby.
Be real, be kind, be cool. I am Chunky B, and we are DONE. That's a podcast right there.